This is a video for how to go about creating tough ISOs number 4 in Fusion 360. For tough ISOs number 4, we have kind of this bendy, windy kind of tube shape. The surface that we will be sweeping and creating a tube out of is right up here at the top. You kind of have two concentric circles. In our front view over here, we have kind of a shape that kind of comes up and bends to the right and then bends back left. Over here on the side view, you can see we have this kind of vertical line that kind of gets a fillet and comes around to the side, and we have this triangular plate that is perfectly 90-degree angle aligned to the kind of when our tube becomes at a 90-degree angle here. So within Fusion, we have several different we have two different sketches we're going to do on two different planes, and we'll also be messing and learning with the surface menu within this part creation video. So what we'll do is we're going to create this object in metric, and just for the sake of the video, we're going to create this in millimeters. So we're going to go up to Document Settings, and we are going to change our unit type to millimeters, and we're going to say OK. And I want to take a look at our origin menu. Just turn on the origin here. I'm going to grab a hold of Create Sketch, and we are going to start out on the XZ plane. And to start this sketch, when we take a look at this object, we want to draw a line to start from the origin over here up a distance of 50. We will be using construction lines in doing this. So I'm going to go back to our menu here, and I'm going to turn on construction, and I want to grab a hold of the line command, and I'm going to draw up a distance of 50. I'm going to hit enter. Now for our next step, we want to try to find this point over here on the right that is the center point of the radius of this curve right here, and we're going to come over 60 and up 50. So we're going to go up to Create, we're going to go down to Point. Now I just want to place a point over here. I want to grab a hold of Dimension. I'm going to click here, we'll go down, we're going to place a distance of 60. We want to go up a distance of 50 from our point to our origin. We will drag over, we'll put a distance of 50. If we go back to our object here, we will see that we have ourselves an arc that is a radius of 60. The diameter then would be 120. We'll go back up to Circle. We're going to click on our point. As we drag out, we'll put a distance of 120. We're going to hit Enter. Now that creates a perfectly kind of tangent constraint right here, since this is 50 and this is 50. A very, very good thing that we have 60 down here for half the diameter. That creates a nice little perfect tangent constraint right in here. Now, when we go back and take a look at the object, the next thing we need to do is find the center point for this, radius of 60 arc that comes in tangent here. Now, this will allow for us to do a little bit of geometric construction, and I want to create a point that starts down here at the origin and is all the way up here at the top, and I can see the height, kind of up to here of being 150 plus 50 right here. So let's grab a hold of the point command. And I'm not going to click when I go to the origin. If you see this little curve down here, I want to get out of 3D Sketch for now. And I don't want to click when I go to the origin, but I do want to drag straight up off of it. And you can see that dotted line show up right along in vertical alignment with the origin. I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to grab a hold of Dimension, and I'm going to click down here. I'm going to drag over distance of 200. I want to make sure I'm not in 3D Sketch again, just to make sure of that. So now that we have gone all the way up here to the top, I'm right up here in this area here, and eventually we're going to have to create for ourselves a vertical line that comes straight down tangent here. So I do want to come over to the right a distance of 50. So I'm going to go to Create, and I'm going to go to Point, and I'm not going to click here, but I am going to drag over and have vertical alignment with it, horizontal alignment with it. And I want to click on this point, go back to this point, and come up a distance of 50. I'm going to hit Enter. We also need a point to the left that is 10 from here. I'm going to drag over, Dimension, here to here, 10. Just a nice distance of 10. 10 over to here, and we need a point down from here that is, actually what I need to do is, let's go ahead and let's just take this one off of here. Let's take this dimension off. One thing I want to do, let's take this 10 dimension off of here because I placed it over to the side. I'm just going to drag this point down here. What we need is this point where I made the mistake is this is the dimension right here, and I'll need this point to be 10 over. That's all I really need. So from here to here, what I can do is I want to say from here to here is a distance of 10. So let's go ahead and just put 10 back in down here, and I'm going to go to Dimension again, and I'm going to go from here down to the origin. I'm going to drag over 147.5 and hit Enter. We're going to go up to Circle. We're going to go to that point. We're going to put a diameter of 120. Now, one thing I've noticed is that when you create this circle, notice how this kind of stays an orange color and this is a black color. If I zoom in on these two arcs, they do not touch. They're just barely not touching. So in order to make this work, I'm going to delete away this 120 dimension, and I'm going to grab a hold of the tangent constraint. And I'm going to click on these two circles, then our tangent. Now while I'm here, if I click on tangent and I say this circle be tangent to this line, I'm going to get an error over here because they're trying to say these things are already tangent, which is good. Our next step is we want to create a vertical line that goes from the center of this hole straight down. We're going to go to the line command. We're going to start up here at our point. We're going to go straight down. And if I zoom in, you can see there's a tangent constraint that shows up. Let's click tangent, right click, OK. Trim is what we will do next. I want to trim away the outside here. I'm going to trim away the excess over here on the side. And we now have for ourselves our two curves, a vertical line and a vertical line. If we look back, if you just look at the hand over here on the picture, we went up, we've created a curve, it's tangent, another curve is tangent. We have ourselves a line that goes straight up. When we go back to our sketch menu, I want to highlight all of our construction lines, and let's get rid of construction. And these now will be object lines. We're going to go to Finish Sketch. And as we go back, I can see now our lines. Now, the blue lines right here, what that means is they might not, be perfectly formed, but that's not going to be too big of a problem for us later. Our next step is, from the origin right here, we came over a distance of 50, and you'll see this right here is where that vertical line becomes tangent. And what we need is to create for ourselves a work plane that comes over a distance of 50, where we can actually start sketching this arc right here. You see a vertical line that goes up, you see the arc, you see the horizontal line up here. We need to create for ourselves a new offset plane. So we're going to go up to construct, and we will click on the YZ plane. We're going to drag over a distance of 50. We're going to create a new sketch on our new plane. Next step we will do is we need to find, where this point over here is going to be. And we see we go over 100 and up 150, but I want to subtract 15 from 100. The horizontal distance we will go over will be 85, and we'll go up a distance of 150 with a point. So we're going to go down to point again, and I'm just going to click anywhere over here and grab a hold of dimension. From the origin to the point, we're going to go straight down 85 and hit enter. Let's go back and take a look at our image. We're going to go up a distance of 150 for that point. We're going to go to point, origin, over 150, and enter. I want to go to construction line, and we're going to grab a hold of the line command. We're going to draw for ourselves a line straight over. Doesn't really matter the distance right now. I didn't put in a specific distance. We're going to go to the line command again, come down here to the bottom. We're going to go straight up. Now, we need a arc that is a radius of 70 right in here. Arc, line, 70. And hit enter. And this right here is exactly what we need. We need a vertical line that comes up. We need a tangency here, which we have this tangent point over here. We have the tangent constraint. It has a radius of 70. It becomes horizontal here, and we have tangent. So we're going to go ahead and highlight everything and turn it into an object line. Highlight everything, take away construction, finish your sketch, go up to the house command. You'll see now we have for ourselves two different curves on two different planes. This curve is resting on this plane. This curve over here, is resting on this offset construction plane that's right here. Now this is where things get a little bit tricky. We're trying to get this curve and this curve to be on a similar plane together. So this is where we're going to start using the surface menu. And what we'll need is this line right here, just kind of to become a thin surface. There's no profile for us to extrude. There's no, closed profile where we can have surface area. We just need this line to become a surface. And we're going to go up to extrude up here. And we click on this curved line. We're going to go over to direction and go to symmetrical. And I'm just going to drag straight out. Doesn't matter the distance. I just want to drag straight out. Say OK. Let's go up to create sketch. We want to click on the top flat surface up here and click and go to your house button. Now we're going to try to project the geometry of this curve here onto this object. Now this is kind of difficult to do in a way because it's not like we have a flat plane. It's not like we're projecting from one flat plane to the same kind of a perpendicular, or excuse me, a parallel plane that's like just a few feet away from it. This is on a curved surface. So we need to do a different type of projecting, and in the surface menu you have a different kind of projecting. Let's go down to project. We're we're going to go to project to surface, and it's going to ask us for faces first. Flat surface, curved surface, other flat surface. We have 3 faces selected. We're going to go to curves, and we're going to select every line that we just created. Every line here, there should be 4 separate lines. It'll ask for project type. Make sure we're in a long vector. It's going to ask us for project direction. Now, if you look up at our view cube, we have Z and we have X. Z is vertical here, X is along the bottom. We need this to go in the Y direction. So we'll go over to the origin and we'll click on Y. And you can see this red curvature is now sitting here. That we've taken this curve now and projected onto this plane, laid it onto the plane, you know, kind of like it was a wet piece of spaghetti or something. We're going to go ahead and say OK. You can see we have this kind of purple line here that's now a projected line. We're going to go to Finish Sketch. We will come over here to the Origin menu, turn off the Origin. We're going to come down here and turn off the visibility of that body. We're going to turn off the visibility of our offset plane. We're going to go to Sketches, and the only visible line that I want is just this line right here. Now, we can go ahead and turn back on Origin just to take a look, because we are going to need to sketch our 2 concentric circles, because these 2 circles up here are what is going to follow this path that we just created over here that we can see in purple. So we're going to go back to Solid, and we're going to go to Create Sketch. And let's click on our XY plane. Let's go up to Create Circle on the Origin, 60. Enter. Let's go back to Circle again, and we'll put a diameter, of 50. Say Finish Sketch. Let's turn off the Origin menu. We're going to go to Create, Sweep. Click on our 2 concentric circles. Inside the 2 concentric circles here, our path. Now notice this is going to be kind of fragmented. We're going to have to click on different paths. Now once we get up into this area up here, you might notice that it's going to struggle to get along this whole entire path. Oh, but it did. But if by chance it didn't, you can just go create another sweep. So you could have said OK, gone up to Create, gone to Sweep, clicked on this surface, and just clicked on the other 2 parts. Now this perfectly went right up here. A perfectly, 90-degree angle came up right nice and flat. If I say OK, we're going to be out of that part. Now let's go back and take a look at our object here and take a look at our sketch. We have the perfect curvature that we would see right here. And if I come over to the other side and turn, we go back, we can see, let's just drag this over real quick. We can see that we have the perfect curvature here. Now this is pretty complex curvature, staying on this plane and then all of a sudden shifting and going over onto another plane. Now the next step of creating this object is going to be putting that triangular plate on this surface right here. Let's go up to Create Sketch. Let's click on this surface. We're going to go back to our sketch. And from our center point of our circle, we're going to have to go up 50 here. We'll have to go down a distance of 25 for the other 2 holes. From the origin here, we go up 50. Here we go down 25 and over 50. So I like to create some points for this. So we're going to go to Create, and I'm going to go to Point. And I want to place a point just kind of up here, place a point somewhere over here, just kind of close enough just for now. And then we can just start dimensioning things into place. So from the center of our hole over, I'm going to put in a distance of 50. Now if I go back to our sketch here, we're going to have to go down 25 from that object and over a distance of 50. So I'm still in dimension from here to here. We're going to go down 25 and from here to here over a distance of 50 and hit Enter. Over here, again, one thing we can do is we can just take the dimensions from the other side and just click. I'm going to click on my 25 over here. I'm going to go from here to here. Drag up. I'm going to click on that 50. I'm going to hit Enter. Now as we go back, we will see that we have these arcs out here that have a radius of 15. I'm going to grab a hold of Circle real quick, and we're just going to come out here and you'll see that I'm in diameter. If the radius is 15, the diameter is 30. And hit Enter. Grab a hold of Circle again. I'm just going to come out here, 30. Now as I go through and do this, you might be asking yourself, is there a different way you could have gone about this? Couldn't you have done this? Couldn't you have done that? There's more than one way to go about doing these types of things. I encourage you to use what you think is the most efficient process for you. Sometimes when I teach a video, I'm intentionally trying to do things different ways just to kind of get accustomed to them. And just remember that there's different functionalities within Fusion. I want to click on one of my circles, hold down on the Control key, and select the other 2, and we are going to lock these in place. I do want them to shift. Locked geometry turns green. I want you to notice that. So we're going to go up to the line command, and I'm going to click. I'm just going to drag over here to the side. I'm going to go back into line again. Let's hit escape real quick. I'm going to go back into line, draw another line over here, and I'm going to draw for myself another line right over here. We're going to grab a hold of the tangent constraint, and we want these to be tangent to these objects. I'm just going to make this tangent. Go ahead and make this object tangent to each one of these curves. Let's grab a hold of the trim command. I want to keep everything. I'm going to trim away everything on the sides of the corners, and once I get through that, I'm going to trim the interior curvature of this object. Now, when we go back, you'll see that we have the outside curvature of the plate. All we really have left to do is just these holes, and I don't see a specific dimension for the holes. The radius here is 15. We're going to say the diameter of the holes is 15, just for the sake of discussion. So we're going to just click here and we're going to go to 15. I'm going to make the diameter of the holes 15. So there we go. 15. Same thing over here. Back into circle again, and we'll go to 15. I'm going to hit enter. Go to finish sketch. See if we can get ourselves a little bit of a turn here on this object. Now let's go over to a different isometric view. We're going to go to extrude. Click on extrude, and I also want this surface right in here. I don't want to lose that. The distance out is a distance of 15, and we hit enter. And we now have pretty much everything we need to show that we, let's drag this over here to the side to try to make sure we can look at everything. You can see we have our curvature right here on the side. We made our plate here. The only thing we're really missing is a little bit of a fillet back here in the back. So let's curve around here to the back and let's grab a hold of an additive fillet. We'll go right in here. We'll go to a side view. I'm going to drag this out real quick. See what we can get. Didn't really give us a radius, but I'm going to go close enough in this case. You go around here to the side, see that nice curvature in there, and this is us being completed with this Tough ISOs number 4. And this is a pretty good case study in complex curvature, and how to use the surface command to create surfaces to project, complex curvature onto that surface, and then create an object that really has to create, a geometry that goes on multiple work planes. So a tough little doozy of a, tough ISO to do, but a great learning opportunity in Fusion for how to go about creating something that has, complex curvature on different work planes. So this has been a video for how to go about creating Tough ISOs number 4 in Fusion 360.